Hi everybody, it's Christina and thank you for joining me. So over the last few videos I've covered easel cards and we've done a variation of themes. This was the single easel card, this was the shaped easel card, and this is the twisted variation. All single cards. Then we moved on to double easel cards and we made this one. And then the last video was the twisted double easel, and that was that card. Now in this video we're going to cover the triple easel card, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to make that card. Now to get my shape I'm going to use nesting dies, and these are stitched and plain dies in alternate patterns. So I'm going to take all the stitched ones from this set and they will create my base cards. So with an A4 piece of card I'm going to fold it in half. Then with the largest die I'm going to place the cutting edge just over the top of the card. So it's just there, that will not cut. Now once I've done that I'm going to run that through my die cutting machine. Now that will give me a card then that is still joined at the top but will open up for me. Now I'm going to do the rest the same with the other dies. Keep it over the top of the fold and cut that out, and that then will give me a card that will open just the same as the other one, and that will form my easel. Now using the same dies I have cut another panel that will sit on the top of this, and that will just complete then the rest of the card for my easel. So I've cut my bases and I've cut my top layers. Now I need another layer that's going to sit on top of them. So I've chosen some floral stamps. I'm going to put some talcum powder on my card, because what I want to do is silver emboss those flowers, and then we'll colour the card to match the design. So I'm using Versamark. Now my ink pad is very dirty but it doesn't really matter, so we'll just ink these up, we'll press them down onto the card, and if it doesn't stamp properly the first time we can always do it again. So we'll go over it again with the Versamark. Now we're going to give it a good press, and once that's stamped we can then sprinkle on some silver embossing powder. There we are. Now we'll go away and heat those, and then I'll repeat the process on this side. So once we have these embossed in silver we're going to turn the card round and repeat the process on the other side. Now I'm going to do this on 2 sheets of paper because I want to colour one piece for my flowers and I want to colour the other piece for the background. So let's just repeat this process here. So for one of your sheets you're going to colour the flowers, and for the other you're going to colour the entire sheet. So let me just show you how we're going to do the flowers. Flower finished, you're just going to do all the rest on the sheet the same, and then if you're fortunate enough to have the dies you can add the dies and cut those out, and if you don't then you'll just have to fussy cut them, and this is what you will have when you've cut those flowers out. Now with the other piece we're going to colour this to match these flowers. So I'm going to use some dusty Concord and I'm going to put some down on the mat. going to spritz it with a little bit of water, and then with the smooshing piece we're going to just pick some up, and we'll add this in random areas over the card. And once you've done that, you can dry this off with your heat tool, and then we can move on to another colour. So the next colour I'm going to put down is Shaded Lilac. So I'll just put some down on the mat, give it a little squirt, make sure this is clean, and then we'll pick up this colour and we'll just add this in random areas, and again we'll dry that off with the heat tool. So there are my flowers, but I want a little bit of the green in my panel, so I'm going to put some peeled paint down, and I don't need a lot, and then we'll pick this up with the smoosher and we'll just add little bits of this down on our sheet. So there's my panel and there are my flowers, but I want my panel just a little bit lighter. It will dry light as it dries, but I want it a little bit lighter still. So I'm just going to put a little bit of white paint onto my mat and spritz that with some water, and then with a little brayer I'm just going to mix it all in. And then I'm going to go very lightly over this card, and that will just make it a little paler for my design. Now we can dry that off again with the heat tool, and then we can cut this out. So once you've dried that off, just go over it with a soft cloth, and that will just take any paint or ink off the embossing, and that will make that nice and silvery again for your card. Now we've used these to cut the base, so let's just pop these back on the sheet and then we can see where we're up to. So now we're going to take the next ones down, and those are the plain ones. So we've used this one, we'll take this one. We've used that one, we'll take this one. We've used that one, so now we'll take this one. And as long as they fit on your sheet, you can cut those out ready to add to your designs. So once you've cut those out, you can pop your dies back onto your sheet, and these are now ready to add to your easel cards. Don't throw away the piece that's left, you can always make use of that with something else. So there's our cards, there's our easel, there's our layer, and there's another layer that's going to sit on there. So we're going to glue these together after we've done some folding. So the first thing we need to do is fold this in half. So open your card out, put your points onto the channel, and with your scoring tool you're just going to score that down. Then once you've folded it, that's the basis of your easel card. So there are my easels, there are my layers, and this is the panel that will go on the top. Now from this piece that was left, I've managed to cut another layer that size, and that's going to sit in the bottom of the very smallest card. So now we can glue all these onto these panels. So that's the next step, we'll glue those in place. So there's all my panels stuck in place, and there's the bottom one done for my smallest easel. Now you've got choices. You can either add your flowers before you put the panels on your card, or you can put these panels on first. But all you're going to do is just glue this bottom part and add the panel along there, so that when it opens, when you open it up, it's only glued to this bottom part, and that will create your easel. So there's our 3 panels now all glued in place and all ready to add to the card. So this easel is going to be kept open with this easel. So you need to make sure that you sort the distance out between them. Now we've put a piece of patterned paper on the bottom of that because that's the only bit that will be seen. So keep one of your smaller flowers on one side. Let's find a small one. There it is. And we're going to trim that down, and we're going to use this as the stop for the front of this easel. Now that will be on foam pads, so it will be raised up a little bit. So now we can go ahead and we can glue these in place. So we're just going to add some glue along here up to about the halfway mark. So let's mark the halfway mark, and we'll put the glue there, and then that's where we will add our easel card, our second easel card. And we'll glue that in place. And that will keep that one open. So we'll do the same for this one. We'll come to the halfway mark and we'll add some glue. So now we can add in our flowers. This is the smallest die, so all I've done is chopped this part off, and I'm going to add some foam pads to the bottom of this, and this will be the stop on the very last easel. So we'll open this up now to the same distance as the others, and that will be there. This can fit in the bottom along there, and it doesn't matter if it overhangs. And now we can add in the rest of our flowers to the tops of these cards. As long as we don't overextend this envelope, that will fit in there. So the flowers that I'm going to put on, I'm only going to put that far. And that way it will fit inside that envelope. And again, I'm going to add these with some foam pads. So there is my triple easel card, all finished. And just to show you that it will fit inside that envelope, I'm going to add it to an A5 envelope. That will seal up, and with the flowers that are left, I'm going to decorate this envelope. So there's the front. So we'll add that there. And should you offer your cards for sale, it will fit inside a cellophane bag as well, which will keep it clean until you find a recipient. And inside there's our triple easel card, which can be opened by your recipient and displayed. And I've put birthday wishes on this little sentiment at the front, and I've just used a piece of this leftover paper to back it. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you have, please join me on the next one, and why not subscribe to my channel, click the notification bell, then you'll always be aware when I add a new video. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.